Next.js is a React framework. I guess people found React too difficult. However, all jokes aside, it looks the exact same as React. And if you're looking at this piece of code right now, you would not know if it was React or Next.js. However, where the powers of Next.js lies is in its functionalities. The first thing is that it's server-side rendered. We don't have to get into the super complicated details, but by it being pre-rendered, your website becomes infinitely faster. The HTML is always on the site, so there's never a weird refresh issue with the page. So for example, if I want to go to the coaching page, I can just click it and we're there right away. There's no weird refresh thing because the HTML is already there. Another benefit to Next.js is that the client and server rendering are all in one place. So if you're making a full stack application with React, you're going to have to make a client folder and a server folder, and then write the code separately and then have to worry about connecting it and a lot of annoying things. However, in Next.js, all you need is like an API folder or wherever you want to store your APIs, and then just directly connect it to the front end. This makes it a lot easier to connect to databases because you don't have to worry about going back and forth, forgetting anything, and then installing things in both areas. And within Next.js, you can also control the client and server components. So in replacement of a client and a server side, you directly put it into your code. So when you're using a client component, all you need to write is use client at the top. And then you can use the regular front end features such as use state, use effect. However, if you require the server for anything backend like authentication, all you need to do is write use server at the top, and then you can use backend features such as async await and try catch blocks. So to simplify it, the use client is for the front end, so things such as design, for the use state, use effect like hooks, and then the use server would be used for authentication and things that take a long time like using asynchronous functions. Another major feature of Next.js is the routing. So if you're making a React application, to add routers, you're gonna have to install React Router, import it into the layout of your application, and then handpick the exact path of each page. So let's say you had like a home page on your website, you're gonna have to directly import the route and then write home within it. While in Next.js, all you need to do is just create a route folder just like this, and then write the name of the route within it. So in here, we have a coaching courses grid, profile page, and so on. And as you can see, let's say we go to the coaching page, it takes us to the coaching page, and we did not have to install React Router. We didn't have to hand put anything in our website. All we had to do was just create a folder with the name of the actual page. Another cool feature about Next.js is the middleware you can add. And I don't want to give you a heart attack and confuse you on middleware because it is quite a difficult concept, but all it is it controls where users cannot go. In simple terms, you can control where logged in or not logged in users can access. So for example, let's say you want non-logged in users to only access the /login register or error page. You can hand write it. This makes it much easier to manage pages that you want hidden to users and only accessible to your employees, or accessible to non-logged in users or logged in users. So let's make a Next.js application. To install it, you'll need to write npx create next app and then fill in the question. So we're going to be using TypeScript, ESLint, Tailwind. No, we don't need an SRC, app router, and no. So I named my application app. Never do that, okay? It will confuse everything. So this is just the name. It could be anything. And then everything else is within here. So I can just head over here and just call it like Nazar's app or whatever. And then everything will be in it. And to run your application, go into the folder. So mine is cd Nazar's. And then run your application using npm run dev. And to start designing our page, go to the page in your app folder, just delete everything and just write export default function page with a return of a div with the words hello in it. So great, we have our first page of our Next.js application. So this is just the landing page. What if we want to go to a next page? To do so, let's create a button that takes us to the page. So let's just delete hello, and within this div, just write a link tag from next link. And essentially this comes with Next.js. It's like the A tag in HTML, but it's from next. And obviously we have an error here. So just write href, and within it, let's just say /me. And in here, we'll use a button to say go to me. And once you refresh the page, we have the button with the link. However, right now it takes us nowhere. When we press it, it takes us to 404. To make this work, we need to implement a router. And to do so, all you need to do is within the app folder, create a routes folder with brackets. And the brackets simply ignore this folder name. We don't want routes in the actual URL. And within the routes folder, create a me folder. And again, as said earlier, this is essentially telling Next.js that we want a me router. And within the me folder, just write page.tsx. It needs to be page.tsx. And within the page.tsx, just write this. We actually don't need that. And then we can name it whatever we want. And just to make sure, we're going to call it me page. So now if we click this link right here, it takes us to the me page. And as you can see up here, it says /me. And also you notice that it did not refresh. It's because we're using server-side rendering. And of course here we can use stuff like use client to make sure we remind Next.js that we are using a client component. Why I say this is important is because let's say we want to import like a use state from React. If we have a state here, we need to have it as a client component. If we don't have the client component, we will get an error. And as you can see here, we need to mark it as a use client. So once we get this back, the error should go away. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. This is a very simple introduction to Next.js, but it's been my favorite language for the past 3 or 4 months. But anyways, if you want to join the community, learn code and have fun doing it, then please like and subscribe. It goes a long way. It literally costs you nothing, but it means the world to me. Happy coding. I love you all, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.